Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome
Yay.
to Community Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Reverend Dr. Aija Duelm, and I am your new minister.
Yay.
Glad to see you. Good to be here. It will take me a little bit to learn to sing the gong a little bit louder. Sometimes it might be too loud, so just please bear with me while I'm learning the angles. I'm learning a lot about this church already, and it will take me a little bit. But I welcome you here. This is why I came up here to say, welcome here. We are an inclusive community, and inclusive of all of our identities, complexities, and situations. We welcome your whole self, even if it is not fully assembled, because we recognize that we are all work in progress and that we are all in this together. So let's start our worship with some words that are adapted from Beverly and David Bumbaugh. We come together this hours from all the various places to join in community with one another, to proclaim the gospel that each human being is infinitely precious, that the meaning of our lives lies hidden in our interactions with each other. We wish to be a church where we encounter each other with wonder, appreciation, and expectation, where we call out each other's strength, wisdom, and compassion that we never knew we had. So come again this hour to be with each other and worship together. Let us worship together. So the reading for today was written by Erika Hewitt. It's one of those readings that doesn't have a title, but Jeannette will help me read it. It will be two of us reading at the same time, kind of the same time. I don't have anything to say.
Well, I do, but it might not be interesting to anyone.
I have secrets inside of me and struggles, and I don't know if I'm ready to share them.
I want to hear what you have to say.
I want to speak of the deepest things together.
I want to hear what you dream about, what you hope for.
I want to know how you have come to arrive at this resting point along your journey.
What if I speak and you don't understand me?
I will listen and listen again until my hearing becomes understanding.
What if I can't find words to share the world inside of me?
I believe the wise words will emerge from you.
How can I trust you to hold my life stories, you who I may not even know?
By knowing that as I receive part of your story, I will give you part of mine.
How will this work? What will happen? What awaits us?
We can find out anything by beginning.
Let us begin to listen and trust and to know one another more deeply.
Amen. So hello again, community. It has been a while since I was here last time, but it is truly good to be here again. And I look forward to getting to know each one of you. This is I want to learn all the wonderful things that you're doing here, and I already have been meeting with leaders, and I have more meetings scheduled with your board members, and I met already with the worship team. But I wanted to meet each one of you, and this is why I'm doing the worship service today. This is not common for new ministers to start preaching on the first month that they arrive to the congregation. I wanted to meet you. So that's why I'm here today. This summer, I was at U Bar U camp, and I'm pretty sure some of you know and have heard about this camp. I was there for children's summer camps, where I'm a manager of those. As I drove down to the hill country, there were a lot of flowers blooming all along the roads. And when I got to the actual grounds of U Bar U Retreat Center, there were flowers blooming everywhere over there. I was so impressed. I thought we had really good spring rains, and this is just amazing. And I didn't think much about it until I learned that there were board members of this center that were making several trips down there to spread the seeds of flowers. They had spread thousands of those seeds all over the place. And now I was enjoying the result of their work. So during the camp, we decided to have a workshop. We had our campers, this is rising 4th through 6th graders, they made flower seed eggs. So patched together seeds and with clay. And then we walked up to the field that had less flowers, and we threw those balls, or seed eggs, into the field. And everyone was eager to come back and see if next year these flowers are going to be blooming. There was so much hope in that. So what I want to tell you is that I am a passionate gardener. I'm part of a community garden in the city where I live, which is an hour and some minutes away from here. I also have a garden in my backyard. And you remember those days when we had the pandemic and we had lockdowns? I walked to the garden, to that community garden, every single day. And it helped me to be outside, to breathe the air, to hear the birds. I saw butterflies, I saw birds, I saw all the bugs that, of course, live out there. The bunny. There's a bunny living in our community garden. There are hawks. I saw hawks, too. And then there's a fox. Because the traffic had slowed down, and possibly because the fox was having her babies, the fox had come closer to people to protect the babies from coyotes. We were able to catch her in our nighttime camera, so that's how we knew she was around. I just recently saw her also and nearby, so we have a guest. But it was also that place where it felt safe to wave at the people from the distance and just acknowledge that we're all still here. But even then, there was this garden itself. I would look at my plants growing, flowering, developing fruits and bulbs. I would weed and water and then bring my harvest home. And you know, every year we grow way too much. Okra, cantaloupe, mint, asparagus beans, and other things, and we share them with our family, our friends, even our neighbors, and then we donate to the food bank. I also make a lot of preserves. I've made jams and jellies. I have mint jellies, grape jellies, peach and plum and prickly pear and mesquite bean jellies. I know some of you are excited about that, right? Pickled okra and pickled cucumbers. I just love this gardening process. From the beginning, when I put the seeds in, to see and wait for those seeds to sprout and then grow and then harvest. I love the weeding and preparing the soil too, as odd as that might sound. And sometimes I do use the Miracle Grow to help. And for some of you, if you don't know what that is, I brought it with me. It's one of those amazing things that do some miracles over there so that things grow. I will leave it out here in case you want to keep a peek on it for the time being.
We are not sponsored by Miracle Grow.
No, there are other good stuff too. I just love the name. That's the name, the Miracle Grow. This is why I like it. But gardening has become my spiritual practice. It connects me to the wider web of our existence, and it reminds me how interconnected we all are. It brings up a lesson of patience every time I find myself eager to hurry up the growing process. And then it surprises me when the seeds sprout faster than I expected. It teaches me that gardening is messy, that mistakes will be made, and then there's a lot that happens without my presence. The cucumbers and okra will grow overnight, and they will be ready the next morning when I show up to pick them. Sometimes the tomatoes will have a second crop if I prepare them for it. That cantaloupe will ripen all of its fruit at once, whether I want it or not. And then sometimes seeds will just not sprout or not bear the fruit, no matter how hard I work. Sometimes just the nearby squirrel family takes all the fruit away. Gardening is, and nature gets a lot to say in the process. However, what I do get to influence is to choose which seeds to grow. Then plant those seeds, water them, and try to protect them from the bugs, weeds, and cold. As you may know, Texas has 2 gardening seasons, and this is the time when the second season begins. The gardeners are preparing, they are maybe already planting seeds to try and grow the next set of produce for this year. And so are we as a church here. We're preparing for our next season. The church year is just around the corner. We have a new minister here. And the question is, what are we growing and planting here? In our call to worship, Bumbaughs say that our gospel is about the worth and dignity of each human being, and that we find meaning in our interactions with each other. They remind us that we want to be a place where we encounter one another with wonder, appreciation, and expectation, a place where we call out each other's strength, wisdom, and compassion that we may not even know we had. Some of you know each other for years. You've been through lots of joys and milestones. You've celebrated big moments. You have also shared concerns and heavy burdens. You've gone through transitions in personal life, in this life of this community. You have disagreed and argued, and yet still found yourselves bound in this community together, working together and tending to this place so that it would grow. One could wonder, is there anything else to learn about the people around me? Am I aware of all the strength, wisdom, and compassion that I have? Or is it possible that there is still something undiscovered in me? Maybe a gift or a talent that I didn't know I had. Is there a story yet to be created? I shared in the message that went out to everyone in the emails that a dear colleague of mine upon retiring, gave me her candle holder, and it's called Sacred Spaces. My colleague got this candle holder at one of the GA meetings. This is General Assembly, our Unitarian Universalist conference that happens once a year. The artist who designed it named it Sacred Spaces to honor the goddess of stories that holds all our stories. I have this candle in my office. I didn't bring it out here, already too many props. But I did bring it here so that it reminds me of the importance of our stories. As a reminder that sharing stories is not always easy. We have our own fears of opening up, of being vulnerable with the other. And sharing requires trust that the person receiving the story will hold it with respect and care that it deserves. So it rests on the listener to listen and listen and listen again until hearing becomes understanding. To listen to each other's stories and to hold them in care is what we are here to practice. Today is my first opportunity to meet you all because I wanted to meet you, to get to know you, to hear what you have to say, what you dream about, what you hope for, how you have arrived at this moment in your life. And I want to be reminded over and over with Erika Hewitt's words that I will listen and listen until my hearing becomes understanding. And I want to do this because I believe that you are amazing. You have gifts and talents and skills and stories and that have wisdom and strength and compassion to share with one another. And in fact, next time, when I will be in this pulpit, the worship service will be even more different than today. I know I'm spinning your minds around. I will ask you to share what you like about this church, about this place. So begin thinking, what keeps you coming here? Why you're still here? Or why you are reaching out to come and visit this place? And there might be something that made you curious to come back. What are those things that keep you coming back to this church? The church is here to remind us that we have seeds to plant. The seeds of love, seeds of hope, seeds of justice, of peace and joy. We are needed to spread love, compassion, and justice in the world. Reverend Kim Wells says, "The church is the soil nurturing us, helping us grow, helping us get stronger and more deeply rooted so that we can spread love in all circumstances and situations." The church is here to help us be people of integrity, be critical thinkers, people of moral fiber, compassion, and creativity. When we look at our world today, we know that we are needed to plant the seeds. Because we see the rise in acts of racism, we see hate crimes committed against non-Christian communities, against Black and brown people, against LGBTQ people. We see the breakdown of the environment. Our human activity has contributed to this global warming, and we are now experiencing the consequences. The extreme heat here, and then vicious floods elsewhere. We see the rise of anxiety and mental illness. We see little concern about an economic system that creates a disparity between a few wealthy and the rest who are struggling to live in extensive poverty. We are needed to plant seeds. Satya Sai Baba, the name that is familiar to a lot of you because they come and use this space on Sundays after us. Sai Baba says, plant the seeds of love in your hearts. Let them grow into trees of service and shower the sweet fruit of Ananda. Share the Ananda with all. Ananda means joy, happiness. Share joy and happiness with all. This is the proper way to celebrate. As you may have noticed from the announcement this morning, we are looking forward to have a lot of opportunities to have new and not so new things happen at this place. These are opportunities to be involved, to learn, to grow, to be together. We are hoping to have adult religious education offerings as well as classes for children and youth so that we all can continue on a journey of learning. We're hoping to offer opportunities to the newcomers to our faith to learn about Unitarian Universalism and about our church. We would like to have OWL classes, and OWL stands for Our Whole Lives, and it is a program that offers comprehensive sexuality education, which is crucial and vitally needed in this corner of Texas in these days. Because the misconceptions about sexuality and gender are very politicized and used to persecute people. We're planning to have a circle suppers again to help us connect with one another, build our community relationships stronger. And there are so many more plans in the making. Yes, we do need volunteers to be willing to help with all of these, to facilitate, to share your time and gifts and talents so that we all can grow together. We might need a little bit of that miracle grow also. Just saying, if we all want to get growing, I don't know what that will look like, but it may be somewhere out there. But there's one thing I do know. We have a lot of seeds. We have power to spread these seeds in the world. And we get to choose what we plant. So let's join in this planting and growing together process and do this while dancing together in the rhythms of the planting and growing. As we go forth, I offer these words to you that were written by Erik Walker Wikstrom. The purpose of this community is to help its people grow. If you are who you were, and if the person next to you is who she or he or they was, if none of us was changed since the day we came in here, we have failed. The purpose of this community, of any church, temple, zendo, mosque, is to help its people grow. We do this through encounters with the unknown, in ourselves, in one another, and in the other, whoever that might be for us. However hard that might be, because these encounters have many gifts to offer. So may we go forth from here this morning, not who we were, but who we could be. So may we all. Amen.